Hello, 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 Danny.
Oh,
Oh man. Woo! So I haven't seen the TWAB yet. Oh my god, I forgot that you changed your picture, so I have to, oh my god, I have to completely rescale you. Fuck. Shit. God, your picture is
uh,
like massive on my screen. Good lord. Sorry,
how did it make it huge?
you were like half the screen.
Oh my god.
You'll see when you see the video, when it ends up getting uploaded. I think this is even. Hold
That's
on.
funny.
Is this even? Fuck it, close enough. So I apologize to everyone that's going to be watching this. This is going to be a very laissez-faire one. Number one, obviously, I just got home from work, and I needed to record the video for today. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to do it tomorrow because I work all fucking day tomorrow. So yeah. But before we get started, Danny, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Had some time to relax for a bit after stream.
Nice, nice, nice. True. How was your stream today?
It's fun. Another fun bout through Pokemon.
Oh, there you go. I have got to catch one of those streams and just like, can I pay you like in channel points to capture a specific Pokemon, or is it a randomizer?
Uh well, we're almost done actually. I think
Jesus. All right,
we
beat the
just
Elite
finished
Four. What?
yeah,
Which
I
one
think
is it? Is it white and black?
and it's specifically like a Drano hack of Black 2. So it's like difficulty is cranked up to 13.
All right, beat the Elite Four with a team of Vanillux. Go.
We have a vanilla theme.
God damn it. Oh man.
Yeah,
All
Faye
right.
is big into the comp stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Probably watch stuff like Wolfie VGC.
Not entirely sure who all Faye watches.
I was about to say Wolfie. I think is I would argue Wolfie's probably the most like well known of the competitive Pokemon players, but that's also because I think he's got the largest competitive Pokemon YouTube channel. I think I could be wrong about that though. I do enjoy watching his videos though and learning like more comp stuff. Um, the meta for Scarlet and Violet is hysterical. Um, because people are using Murkrow in competitive play. Just think
It's
about that
wild.
for a moment.
It's wild.
All right. Well, before we get too far deep, let's get into the TWAB. Oh my god, I have to resize you over here too. Son of a bitch! I'm covering like goddamn like the entire corner. Jesus Christ. All right, there we go. All right, this will work. Is there a blog that we have to go over as well?
Not really. Because
Okay,
the only things that they mention are oh yeah, stuff that we've already talked about. And the trailer that they dropped. Well, the Vidoc.
yeah. So then the only stuff that we really need to go over is the TWAB. I'm just curious, how long do you think this is gonna be?
Oh, this one's not bad.
Okay,
This one is, all things considered, it's a lot of TLDRs.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we're not gonna go into the Vidoc video, but if you wouldn't mind summarizing the Vidoc video up real quick,
There's
Danny.
a lot of big changes coming real soon. Also, Guardian ranks, which will give newer players a sort of streamlined path of to what you should be doing next.
It's basically the new Light Quest, but better.
And once you hit rank 6, I think, in Guardian ranks, you get all of the armor mods. So,
Jesus Christ.
anyone that's already been playing, congratulations, you already have all of those.
Nice. Ah! Sorry, I just knocked into my bowl that I had my dinner in. Fuck. That was terrifying. All right, you know what? You're getting moved. You're getting moved. It's, by the way, for those of you wondering, it has I put sriracha on my sriracha. on the bowl. Uh, this is what I used to eat ramen out of. All right, so we're gonna. Oh God, Jesus, what the hell? No, I don't want to click that. All right, so we're just gonna TLDR this bitch, and this is basically the TLDR. Here's one for last week's TWAB. We're just going to quickly go over it. Latest Strand news, update on performance issues tied to latency, FOTL results and trials map voting, Prime Gaming loot update, visual effects and Destiny, and more. And then along with that, they're also going to tell us what's going on for this one. It's the Journey Through Darkness trailer, the Vidoc Season 19 ending cinematic, Destiny 2 Steel Series collab, transmog for the desktop wallpapers, and a Lightfall ritual weapon reveal with ornaments. And you can see a lot of that. Basically, it just covers like a lot of the stuff that's in this video. I think one of the biggest ones is that we saw. Actually, no, I don't think this is in the video. I don't know if you saw it, Danny. It was the loadouts.
Yep, I watched that Vidoc. They're adding loadouts, which looks very streamlined and nice. They're adding commendations and post-game, post-activity screens, which is going to be nice for raids and dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing out of all of that is the loadouts. I think the loadouts is going to be both great for both people that play with friends and solo players. Because number one, it allows you to just instantly hot swap to whatever super you need, or you know, whatever gear you need. And then you could just instantly swap from there. So, in my opinion, I think loadouts is a phenomenal thing. And you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised that we hadn't had it yet.
Like, I feel like they've been trying to figure out how to get it in without breaking something.
I mean, that is fair. That is very, very fair. I can definitely agree with that statement. But I'm glad that they're finally putting it in. I think especially for, I mean, this is, and it's not just casual players. I think pro players and you know, experienced players are going to really enjoy the loadout system.
This is going to be used for like the world's first race.
Oh, 100%. Instantly being able to swap supers before you drop a raid banner instead of having to manually swap, number one, all of your gear. Number two, your fucking super, which takes time. That can kill 30 seconds off your 30 seconds off your time.
Supers, weapons, mods, everything all in like one screen.
Yeah.
Easy.
And the fact, and I don't know if you saw it, they're allowing you to name your loadouts.
Yup.
And that brings me a lot of joy. Because I'm going to be very excited, Danny, because I really hope they show when you inspect a Guardian, you see what their loadouts are and what the name of the loadout is.
Because I know they talked about having a similar feature to what Dim does, where you can actually share that loadout with other players.
Yeah, because I just want to make one with Starfire Protocol Solar and just call it Great Balls of Fire. I'm really excited, and you know what? I'll put in the comments below. I want you guys to put in the comments below, for those of you that are watching right now. In the comments, put what loadout you would want, that the first loadout that you're going to make, and what's the title of that loadout going to be called. Let us know in the comments below, because I finally remembered to say that in the first 10 minutes of the fucking video this time, because I'm an ape. So, all right. Journey Through Darkness, Lightfall interactive trailer. I have not gotten to do it. I've heard it is very, very well put together, though. And then Lightfall and the year ahead. There is a lot of changes coming up. And we're just going to TLDR the fuck out of this bitch. So, big goals for Season 20 and future seasons leading up to the final shape. Expand players' imaginations. Currency and engram changes. We have covered those before. Continuing to cast a wide net when it comes to themes within Destiny 2, which, again, is phenomenal. Again, the Bungie world building is just absolutely outstanding. And then new weapon crafting enhancements, which we covered out, as a matter of fact, last week, right?
And they are adding like a few more changes. So after a certain season, I don't know if they mention it exactly or not. Let's see. Yeah, they do. Okay, they mention it soon. But yeah, they're changing weapon crafting a tiny bit.
I mean, talking about casting a wide net of themes, I'm just glad that, Danny, for the first time since Forsaken, we're getting a new race of fucking enemies.
We are getting some very interesting enemies.
Not only are we
And
getting enemies, we're also getting allies too.
yup,
Neomona about to be fucking lit.
I'm very excited about the coming expansion story and the first season.
Yeah. You know what though, Danny? I will say this before we go on. Is you know how Neomuna kind of looks like Cyberpunk?
It kind of does.
I really want I really want what's the winter festival again? The Dawning. I want the
Hmm.
Dawning to come back this year, and this would be the year that they bring back Sparrow Racing, and we Sparrow race around Neomuna.
They really do need to bring back Sparrow Racing.
Well, and
They
I want you to
really do.
understand, Danny, at the beginning of every match, I'm gonna play Deja Vu. Like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna hop on my Sparrow on stream. I'm gonna load up that song and I'm gonna play it. Like it's gonna happen. Along with that, they're bringing challenge back to Destiny. Baseline challenge and most content being brought up. Part of this is going to be just like in Witch Queen. They're giving us the
Yeah.
legendary campaign as an option, which again, I 100% I think is a great thing. Is they're not forcing you to do the legendary campaign; they are
Yeah.
giving you the option, right? So, for example, for players like like my mother, who is not very good at FPS games, but loves games with a lot of lore, you can just
Yeah.
breeze through the campaign and enjoy the lore for what it's worth. Right? Whereas more experienced players like you and I get to go fucking meme with the new Twin Tailed Fox catalyst and just shit on these kids. Because, fuck the witness.
It's going to be really interesting because I've heard some talk that Legends Seraph Shield is kind of about what they want to do for like difficulty. Like they want to make it harder, but it seems like they're kind of trying to lean on new things other than just champions,
Which
which
is
I'm
a
okay with,
Yeah, which is 100% a good thing because I think the community has had enough of fucking champions. Because
especially Overload.
especially fuck Overload. Overload captains lick my balls. But no, and I agree, right? I think that just overall, I think just outright just buffing enemies and not just creating like specific gimmicks where you have to fix shit to deal with that gimmick, right? Is kind of what killed a lot of Destiny, especially during I would say during Shadowkeep. That's where a lot of
Yeah,
because that's where a lot of players because I mean I think the three biggest places where people quit were what was the Osiris fucking expansion?
Curse of Osiris was a not good expansion.
That was
The story
garbage.
was fine, but everything else that came with it was just it. Once you finish the story, that was basically it.
Yeah,
There was nothing else to that.
Curse of Osiris, trash. Then I would argue.
Like
So
the expansion
I would.
after that was okay,
What was the expansion after that?
because that was when they introduced the Warmind again.
Right, but but that also brought Warmind cells, right? Like the Warmind
Yep.
mods, and I mean, a lot of players really, really loved that because it was something brand new, and I still think a lot of players miss it.
Like
Though to be
when
fair,
it was,
it did deserve a hard nerf.
yeah,
After
like
how fast it deleted bosses.
because of how few people were still around after Curse of Osiris, it took so long for people to see like, oh, these things are ridiculously strong.
Yeah, and I mean, and a lot of people came back for Forsaken, which I mean, I think a lot of people can agree is one of, if not the best expansion that Destiny 2 has ever had.
It's when the writing of Destiny 2 picked up pace.
Yeah, and then we immediately got shat on again with Shadowkeep. Now, here's my thing about Shadowkeep. Shadowkeep, I thought that the story for Shadowkeep was really good. I
Yeah.
hated literally everything else about Shadowkeep. Uh, the fucking gameplay, especially Nightmares. Nightmares and Nightmare Hunts were by far, I think, the worst thing I have ever encountered in a long time.
Nightmares are the predecessors of champions.
Yeah,
That's literally all they are.
yeah, which is why a lot of players didn't like it. And then obviously Champions came out and became a bitch and a half. And
Also,
then I would argue that, and this may be a little controversial. I think not Beyond Light. I think, oh, I'm missing the name. What's the name of the expansion with Stasis?
that's Beyond Light.
Beyond Light. I feel like Beyond Light was also the third one. And here's the sad part is that Beyond Light wasn't bad as a whole. I just think a lot of players got really frustrated, specifically because of how boring both PvE and PvP felt. Because PvE, you just stun locked everything, and you just got to one shot basically every boss. And in PvP, was probably one of the most unfun PvP metas of all time. Like in a 6v6 match, 11 of your players were running stasis, and half of them were fucking silence and squalls. So like, and the maps at that time were too fucking small, so silence and squall literally went through the entire fucking map. So, but Beyond Light, I don't think was bad, but it definitely ruined a lot of players' experiences, and it definitely put a bad taste in some players' mouths. At least that, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that statement.
I think it did too, because like Stasis when it shipped was definitely it was okay in PvE, but PvP it just broke the game.
It, yeah, it broke the game, and I mean, and if it broke the game in PvP, it ruined Gambit. Which, to be fair, Gambit was, and that's another thing is
Gambit,
that Beyond Light was when they did the big Gambit changes. Um,
and that's the last time they've touched Gambit, because
Basically, and
I
Gambit's basically a dead game mode at this point. I
like
refuse. I refuse to touch it. It's so bad.
I made a video on Gambit actually this week where it's like I have actually started enjoying playing Gambit more, but it's just it needs like there's a game mode in there. There's some potential in there. They just need to change a few things and
It's
tweak a
been
couple things.
it's been left to rot.
Like it really needs the envoy spawning method that Gambit Prime had, where it would spawn an envoy, you kill the envoy, and it just spawns another one after a certain amount of time. The boss does not go immune. That is
Yeah,
something I miss about Prime.
yeah. So you could just flat out nuke it instead of being time gated, because that time gate basically is what allowed the invasion meta to really go hard. And and I mean that was the Eyes of Tomorrow, Xenophage, and Ascendancy meta.
Meme breakers.
Yeah, that was not a fun meta, if I'm being
And
honest.
right now, every time you clear a section, there's a heavy ammo spawn, which I think should not be there. I think that should just be like special ammo at most. It
I
should
agree.
not give you heavy boxes.
Because let's be real, if you're gonna invade, you're gonna use your heavy. That's
Yep.
literally, and I think that's one of the things that I think I agree with Kuj about is that you get a specific amount of heavy ammo. That's it. You cannot get any more. Like you get basically one clip or like one set of ammo for your thing, equivalents for like obviously like something like Xenophage, which is a light machine gun, versus like Eyes of Tomorrow, which is a rocket launcher, versus something like Leviathan's Breath, which is a bow. Like obviously it's gonna scale to that weapon, obviously because that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But you spawn in with that amount of ammo, and that is it. Like, you can't get any more, so you now have to determine, okay, do I nuke the boss with this ammo, or do I invade with this ammo? Like, and then you get that choice. And I think that makes a little bit more sense
Yeah.
because it also helps prevent like super hard punishments, because let's be honest, how many times have you gotten into a Gambit match and your teammates are probably playing Gambit for the first time ever? Because I've gotten
Like,
several of those.
there's also the thing with Gambit being involved in one of the weekly pinnacles. You have to play 3 matches of Gambit if you want that pinnacle. So it's like you're gonna get a lot of people that are just kind of there for the pinnacle,
Yeah,
and
so
then you get the hardcore. I always invade. I have the perfect loadout for everything. Invasion oriented that will literally just shit all over your team.
yeah, fucking sweat lords. Don't be a sweat lord. Don't. Gambit's already obnoxious as shit. Just don't.
It's like my biggest takeaways from Gambit is like make it so that the primeval is damageable the entire time, but just give him like a shit ton of resistance.
I think that's fair. Like, actually make it a coordinated effort to kill the
Yeah,
primeval.
because I don't like immunity phases, especially with that invasion mechanic. I don't like the immunity phases.
Oh my god, agreed. Alright, before we get
Annoying.
more sidetracked,
Yeah,
let's continue to go through. And we covered this in the past couple TWABs, where they're increasing the ability recharge time, they're reducing damage resistance granted by resilience, but they are also reining in the unintentional power creep. So basically, just kind of stat reworking a little bit, which again is going to work really well with the new mods because
yeah,
they're reworking it to where the current 10 is going to be, or where the new 10 is going to be our current 8.
yeah,
But with all of the new mods and all of the new stuff that's going to be coming out, it's going to be overall better for the game, which again I think is fair because a lot of players have been asking for more gunplay rather than ability play,
yeah,
slash it should be a healthy mixture of both, which
yeah.
I'm okay with. Like, obviously you're gonna have people that are, gonna make specific grenade spam builds, right? Like, every class has one. Like, you can't take that away. But
Specifically like Titan.
yeah, Titan and Warlock for a while, and
Yeah,
specifically before Solar 3.0, definitely had grenade spam, a little too much of it. But after 3.0 they kind of lost it. Um, so yeah. And then they're going to enrich our content. Upcoming Crucible updates, new Crucible Labs modes. Always a fan of that. Countdown returns in Season 20 with a new mode variant. Also pretty dope. They're going to have 3 PvP maps coming in 2023. Now, they did state that one of those would be a returning map, and 2 of those would be brand new maps. That would be immediately available. I believe they said in the first season of Lightfall, which again I think that's super dope. Players have been asking for more maps. We're finally getting them, and to be honest, I think we should definitely vault at least 1 or 2 for the time being. Along
yeah,
with that, new matchmaking updates. Again, they're trying to do as equal skill level versus connection level. Please give the devs a little bit more time on it. It is really rough working on trying to figure that out because trying to balance skill based matchmaking, or at least soft skill based matchmaking, with connection issues is very difficult because the whole Bungie prides itself on its diversity of player base. Because I mean, there are players that play Destiny across the world, right? So obviously, some are not going to have the same connection as others, right?
yeah,
So please be patient. The devs are, and the devs have shown that they are working on it. Like, they have shown us progress bars of like what is being fixed, what is currently being worked on. So like, it's not like we're not getting any info back. We are getting PvP info back. So, and in my opinion really nice to see. I'm a huge fan of that. For PvE updates, Season 16 and 19 Battlegrounds, that is the Heist and the PsyOps
I
Battlegrounds.
believe. Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the Heist and PsyOps Battlegrounds are being added to Vanguard Ops, which,
So yeah,
again, those were honestly fun. They're not too bad. And here's the thing, they're actually relatively fucking short.
yeah, they're pretty
So,
short.
yeah, like, they're pretty fucking short. So,
The
like,
one that interests me though is the next like 2 beats.
yeah, refreshing the Lake of Shadows and the Arms Dealer strikes. Because there's a lot of contention about these. Number one, that's because these two strikes are probably the two most farmed slash the two easiest to cheese and clear. So I
They're
am
also
wondering
like
if they're reworking it completely. Because number one, something very important to note. Uh, Arms Dealer is almost completely communicated to us via Cade.
yep,
So I'm wondering if they're going to replace his voice lines for that.
they probably are.
Yeah,
They're
and
probably gonna like update it.
yeah, and number two, I wonder if they're going to completely like fix how those two strikes work.
Like
Because they're two of the oldest strikes in the game. They're both on the EDZ.
they also are, I believe, some of the only strikes that do not actually have a full-on immunity phase, and or you can just melt the boss before it ever gets close to that.
That is correct because Arms Dealer only gets an immunity phase if he gets to the tower, and Lake of Shadows does not have an immunity phase at all. If I'm correct. I mean, I don't think
I
I've
think
ever
it
seen
doesn't.
him. I mean, to be fair, we've nuked that fucking Taken so many times.
That boss has no health.
It seriously has zero health. So I'm curious. I'm definitely with you on that. Is that I'm curious about how they're going to work that. I'm down to like add difficulty to it. However, please, for the love of God, do not add immunity phases. I
Yeah, no.
swear to God. Please do not
Don't.
add immunity phases. Players will never fucking run them. That is
Yeah,
the only
immunity
reason why those.
phases are just. Eh.
Yeah, there's a reason why players run those fucking strikes in particular. Do not add immunity phases. Make getting to the bosses harder. Then make the boss. You can give the. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they gave the bosses a little more HP. Like, I'm not mad about that if they gave them a little bit more HP, especially with all the new builds and mods and gear and stuff coming out. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with them giving the bosses more HP. But please, for the love of God, do not immunity lock them. Because no player will ever run those strikes ever again, and then Bungie's going to be like, what did we do wrong? So, hear me out, Bungie. If one of your devs is watching this, don't immunity lock them. Please
Yeah.
still allow us to just
Just-
nuke them instantly. And if we don't have the damage, we don't have the damage. Like, it's just that simple.
Just please stop with the immunity phase bosses,
It's
please.
so dumb. Yeah. And then going into the next one, the Mars Heist Battlegrounds is going to be going to the Nightfall rotation. Cause that is very exciting. I am very excited about that, because that is a very fun fucking heist. That is a super fun heist.
Very interesting that that's going to be in Nightfalls.
It's going to be very interesting. Along with that, they did talk about the exotic mission rotator planned for season 22, where they're going to be rotating through. Danny, please refresh me. Which ones are they going to be rotating through?
They're starting with the past, 3 exotic missions, and they're going to rotate in some of the older ones over time, which I was super excited about.
Yeah, so if you missed Hawkmoon and you missed Whisper of the Worm, this is your chance to get
0 hour.
0 hour. That is one that I have not done.
Pinnacle.
Yeah, that is one that I have not done either. It's cool to see that people are going to be able to get Dead Man's Tale, because I believe it's Dead Man's Tale. It is Messenger, and it is the current one. What is the name of that exotic?
Revision 0.
Yeah. So that's going to be nice, and then they're just going to slowly rotate through those, which, again, I'm totally fine with. I think a lot of players, especially because of, obviously some players were not available, or weren't back in the game. Because, for example, I started playing during Red War. I did Red War. But I quit after Red War because I started playing other games, and / I went to college.
Yeah.
I was in college, man. I had to focus on grades.
If anyone started playing Beyond Light, you missed probably some of the best missions.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agreed. Like, Whisper of the Worm is such an interesting mission as a whole. I think Whisper of the Worm is a phenomenal mission as a whole. In all,
Whisper
I think
was
they're all
like,
great.
yeah, Whisper was the proof of concept idea.
That and I mean, players did it. Players did it, and it was a good time. I mean, and then obviously, the one right after that was Hawkmoon when they brought Hawkmoon back, and players loved that shit.
That was a long one.
That
That
was
was a
that was a
really
very
long
long
one.
quest mission, but you were very heavily rewarded. And number one, we got Hawkmoon with a catalyst. Number two, you could earn multiple Hawkmoons because you could get different rolls on it. And
Yep.
I think that is what made that so special is
It's
because
like,
the only two guns that they did that to were Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tail, if I'm correct. Otherwise,
yep.
the rest of them have preset perks.
Because, like, I don't think it would work with any other exotics. Those two, I feel like they're in that sweet spot where that's part of what makes them unique, because they have their own intrinsic perk, and you can get different roles that make it better for certain
Yeah, like Dead Man.
activities.
Yeah, like for example, Dead Man's Tail. You can the perk pool between or the perks between PvP and PvE are vastly different, right? Like PvE, you can get 4th times the charm.
Or Vorpal.
Yeah, the fuck. And PvP has some nutty fucking rolls too. Like
Yeah.
and Hawkmoon still hits like a truck. So like and I definitely agree with you on that. Is that they are they're very generic weapons that still have their slight flair, and then the unique perk pools, and then the fact that you can roll multiple perks on them makes them that special.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree with that. And then along with that, they have targeted changes to ritual content throughout the year. Now, Danny, if you know anything about this, if you wouldn't mind kind of going over that a little bit, or should we wait to scroll down a little bit
Yeah.
more?
I don't know if they're gonna talk about that. Let me take a look real quick.
But worst comes to worst, we
It look like
we
they
can
are.
just scroll down, and we could just finish this up and then just slowly scroll over thing. How's that
Okay,
sound?
but basically, TLDR for that. TLDR is seasonal activities. They're probably gonna tweak a little bit faster if they're not like doing what they're supposed to. That's what I gather from that.
That's good.
Also, probably the economies of those.
Yeah. And then along with that, excuse me, mouse, thank you. They're going to connect with the Guardians. Commendations and Guardian ranks will be coming with Lightfall. That is super dope. The text chat updates planned. This is mostly for PC. You can do it on console. It's just kind of a pain in the ass, so there's no point. And then the Fire Team Finder early preview. The prototype of it is going to be really, really interesting. So you can actually look/request for specific things.
Yeah, in-game LFG.
Yeah, which players have basically been begging for years. So it's going to be really, really, really good. And then we're going to start getting into the things that we just covered. So enhancing weapon crafting TLDR. They're getting rid of a bunch of shit. They're adding a bunch of shit. They're getting rid of mats that you need to worry about, and they're adding and they're talking about rated depth weapons. We've already covered all that. That's super dope. You can also craft in Season 20. Seasonal weapons, Neomuna weapons, base raid weapons, plus a handful of other weapons that don't have a direct comparison to the Witch Queen sources. And then in Season 21, the season after, they're going to be allowing the crafting of seasonal weapons and raid reprise weapons, which is super dope.
That, by the way, raid reprise
Reprise.
is a nice little hint.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're bringing back a raid.
Yeah. My question is, Danny, what do you predict the raid that they're going to be bringing back is?
Well, let's see. The options that they have from D1, they have two left. They have Wrath of the Machine and Crota. And early D2, they have Leviathan raids and raid layers. Or
If they were going to bring
Scourge.
Leviathan back, they would have done it during Season of the Haunted. So I don't think they'll be bringing back Leviathan.
They could.
I would bet my money on the D1 raids. And you said which ones are those? Wrath of the Machine and Crota.
Crota. That's all that's left in D1.
See, neither of those really fit Lightfall. If I'm being honest.
That is the thing. However, one of the upcoming seasons is called Season of the Deep.
Huh? Yeah, that could be a Crota one. That sounds like a Crota thing.
It could be, which would be very interesting because Crota was not a great raid.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're going to do a lot of things to fix it, because I have heard that that raid was awful.
The thing about Crota is, it was good when you could feasibly solo it. Once they fixed the ability to solo it,
Nobody
it was
did
not good. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just not worth it.
I mean, that is 100% fair.
The armor is about all that was worth it when they added the ornaments in D1.
That makes sense. Then they've got the Destiny 2 X Steel Series set, which will include an Arctic 7 Plus headset, Aerox 5 wireless gaming mouse, QCK Prism XL mousepad, and Control Freak thumbsticks. Super dope. Very excited for that. That is pretty sick. More cinematics. The season 19 ending cinematic. I will not spoil this for those of you. Again, we normally don't watch the videos here on the YouTube video for possible DMCA issues. And plus, you should probably go experience it in game. Because I also haven't done it yet, so I should probably go do that this week.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Yeah, so, and that moment that sent you hurtling back to 2014, we heard you wanted a high-res version of your wallpaper. So, yeah, here you go, bitch.
The next section I'm very excited for.
Yes, it's not the holidays anymore, but we've got ornaments, and the Lightfall ritual weapon coming in Season 20 is going to be the Ecliptic Distaff, a Void Glaive, with, is that Dreaming City icon on it?
That's the Queen Seal.
Ho 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 ho! Arigato! That is also a beautiful looking weapon. Holy shit!
And it
that
gets
looks
better because the ornaments for it.
Huh? It changes? The fuck?
Yeah.
So the Vanguard one, there's Gambit, there's Crucible. Wow. Alright, so let me read a little bit of this. We did want to share the new perks debuting on this weapon, Replenishing Aegis and Destabilizing Rounds. Now, I do not know what replenishing Aegis is. Can you please remind me what in the hell that does, Danny?
I'm pretty sure those are brand new perks. I feel like those are brand new perks. I'm gonna double check through Light GG here real quick.
In the meantime, I'm going to just scroll through these. I think these weapons look super dope. Also, I really love the difference between the different dailies. Like the Vanguard one is very militaristic, right? It's got that standard steel look on it. Gambit has got, the rusted green with obviously the green blade.
Yep.
And then Crucible, it literally just screams Shaxx. It screams Shaxx all over it. And I think these ornaments look fucking phenomenal.
It looks so good.
Yeah, and then Boosted. Starting with Lightfall, we're changing how paid character boosts work. Specifically, we're introducing a new type of character boost that includes a campaign skip. Once Lightfall launches, players will see one of two types of boosts of characters, or two types of boosts on their character screen, depending on their progress. One is the Lightfall character boost. Appears when you hit the soft cap with one character but have not completed Lightfall. This boost provides the selected character with a set of high power level gear. However, the boost does not skip the campaign. And then the Lightfall campaign skip boost appears when you complete Lightfall, and it will skip the Lightfall campaign for your selected character and unlocks Strand. This only includes a set of high power level gear if your main character has hit the soft cap. Again, I think these are phenomenal. Again, it's for players that have been wanting to make a second character for a long time, but just haven't really wanted to take the time to level. Because I'm not gonna lie, it takes a while to actually get your character up to the mark where it needs to be. So
Yep.
I'm very interested to see how it goes. If you haven't reached the soft cap or completed the Lightfall campaign, neither of the boosts will be available. It's also worth noting that while the Lightfall campaign skip boost does unlock Strand, you won't receive the rewards such as items, upgrade materials, etc. you would have earned through playing through the campaign. Lastly, you might have guessed this, but skipping the campaign doesn't count as having completed legendary mode or any of the post-campaign missions. If you want those triumphs, you'll still need to play through the missions, which, if I'm gonna be honest, makes complete sense, and I get it, because otherwise that's just free shit. Like, earn your shit,
Overall,
bro.
this is a good change.
Very,
I like this.
very solid change. Very solid change, and I'm glad to see it now. And I think they were waiting to do this once they figured out exactly how the Witch Queen legendary campaign worked, because I think they had an inkling of what they wanted to do, but they didn't know how the legendary campaign for Witch Queen would have turned out. Turns out every player wanted it,
Yeah.
and loved it. For seasoned players like myself and Danny, it legitimately felt like an actual challenge. Like, we actually wiped on several of the missions,
Yeah.
and it
Like,
actually feels like a fucking ball of stress.
it was a good challenge, and not like to the point where it was like, okay, this is just hell.
Yeah, it's not Overload Captain level of hell. It is a hell that I am willing to accept because I am actually enjoying myself doing it.
And you feel like you can do it. It's not like, okay, this is borderline impossible, and you have to have like literal perfect luck to get through some of these sections.
Yeah, and again, I think how they handled the Witch Queen legendary campaign was absolutely phenomenal. They 100% knocked it the fuck out of the park on the Witch Queen. And I
Yeah.
really, really hope that they see success in the Lightfall legendary campaign too. Because if it is anything like the Witch Queen campaign, now to be fair though, this is something that we do need to note. Other than the Hive champions, all the other enemies that we saw in the Witch Queen, we are enemies that we have already seen. A lot of the enemies, almost if not all of them in Lightfall, are going to be completely brand new.
It's like
So,
it's a lot of Cabal, but it's Callus's Cabal.
yeah, but it's also modified Cabal. It's modified Cabal with very specific modifications, along with brand new elite enemies. And what are those giant golems again called?
Tormentors.
Tormentors, yeah. So we're gonna have to see how the modified Cabal and the Tormentors work. Um,
'Cause they mentioned in the Vidoc that the Tormentors will be like harnessing void power, and the first major enemy in the game that can grab you.
so yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's going to add. It's gonna add a little bit of viscosity. Is that the right word? Of because everybody's going to be learning how these new enemies work. Because the Cabal are not going to be like the Cabal that we've been fighting in the past. Um, and it's going to be completely different. So I'm really excited to see how they work, and I'm really excited to see how the legendary campaign changes them as a whole. Because I will be playing through the legendary campaign. Cause
Oh yeah.
that's fucking dope. Cause I'm not gonna lie, Danny. Probably you, me, and Buddha may or may not spam the entire campaign in one day.
It depends how long it is.
I mean, that is true. Witch Queen campaign was not a short campaign. That was not a short campaign, and it took me at least well, to be fair, between working, obviously.
Like even just playing it solid, it took me like days because that last fight at level is painful on legendary.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good fight. It's a very good fight. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for it, and I can't wait to see what they do. Along with that, the Lightfall 24-hour update again. It's going to be starting at 9 a.m. PST, February 27th. So make sure that you are updating your shit. Leave your consoles on. Make sure that Steam is up and ready to upload and download because it's going to be a bitch. Along with that, Bungie Rewards deadline. Make sure you claim your shit for this expansion now or forever hold your peace. Now, PlayStation is also getting a preload, which is interesting to note. And for those of you that don't know, I played Destiny 2 on PlayStation, so this is actually very important for me, so I'm just going to quickly go over it because I know a lot of console players, specifically PlayStation players, are going to need to know this. PS4 and PS5 players can, using the PS4 version of Destiny 2, who are looking to preload Lightfall, should make sure that they have about roughly 80 gigs of free space for an additional install package to be downloaded on top of the existing D2 ones. The old packages will be removed once Lightfall launches, but during the 24-hour downtime, both versions will need to be in storage for the preload to succeed. And this has been a common thing for PlayStation. A lot of the new games are often doing that just to make sure it's basically a double download. It's to make sure that it's basically make sure that all of the content, it's like two downloads. It's one download and then the second download to make sure that the second download didn't miss anything that the first download possibly did. So it's just covering its bases. So just give extra time for it. If you can't log in the first day, it's fine. Chances are the servers are probably going to be swamped anyways.
Probably.
So just play on the second day. Missing marketing emails. Nobody likes spam, so don't worry about it. I'm not gonna bother y'all with it. Known issues. There's a lot of weasel errors.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them.
there are.
Players who receive a lever penalty in the competitive Crucible playlist may be unable to launch in the playlist once their lever penalty has expired. You can just swap to another character. Just swap to another character, hop into competitive Crucible, and it will fix it. Visual effects from the Symmetry exotic perk Revolution may continue to display for players once the weapon is stowed. Really Mimi. The push objective Crucible bounty does not gain progress in momentum control, and the daily Crucible bounties for capturing zones of control are unable to be completed when Iron Banner is active. So just be warned of that. Destiny House. Again, this is the content made by the Destiny community. This is Jake Parker talking about Destiny House, Destiny, but as a 90s sitcom. It's basically a play on Full House. I have not seen it yet. I will probably watch it later. I'm very excited too because Full House is a funny ass show. Then we have the Destiny 2 Weather Channel. This is done by Core DNA. That also is, I mean, the people that keep doing the animations for D2, like the fresh animations, they're getting better. They're getting a lot better, and it looks good. Along with that, it is nap time. Layla Fida, the one that brought me light, was Saint. And it is a picture of Osiris with Saint 14. And god damn, they are the greatest gay couple in D2. Oh, love them to death. They're just... I mean, it's also especially a little heartwarming now that Osiris is actually fully back. And now that he knows that Segura is gone. So Saint is all he has, basically. Because he and a lot of people I don't think realize this, Danny, is that Osiris and Saint are from a different time than than the current Guardians. Like there's a reason why a lot of players don't connect with them.
They're post collapse.
Yeah, like they saw the world being destroyed. Like they actively saw that shit. So and especially in a time where they needed to be savage, right? Like they were there in the time of the Iron Lords, which even in D1 we were past the time of the Iron Lords. Obviously, the only Iron Lord left is Lord Saladin, um,
Mm-hmm.
who is
Well,
now
Saladin and Ephrodite.
yeah, but Ephrodite has been nowhere to be seen in like ever.
Who knows? Maybe she'll show up
Who fucking
in one of these
knows?
seasons.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I should rephrase. He's no longer Lord Saladin. He is Callus Forge. Which
Mm.
also, I just want to say
Yeah,
that
Valis Forge.
that is a hard fucking name. Like that
He
name
is,
goes hard as fuck.
and some of the lore tabs I was keeping up with it. He is actually the fastest person to earn the title Valis.
It's basically the equivalent of like a right hand man, isn't it? Or like
That's like extremely decorated general.
yeah, it's at bare minimum like a 1-star general, in terms of the Cabal. So that's wild. But also the fact of like knowing the story between like how he ended up there and how much Keitel respects him as a guardian and as a warrior. Like the lore between like the lore between Saladin, Keitel, and Savala actually made me like Savala.
Yeah.
Like it's so fucking good. Like it's so good because Saladin was the one that trained Zavala as, Osiris trained Ikora, right? And
Yep.
so seeing them and Kyle getting to see like where Savala got his mannerisms from and like how he got his, running the Vanguard from Lord Saladin, like it's really interesting to see. Um and I'm not gonna lie, Danny. I really want to see Savala just go up to Lord Saladin and be like, "Dad, this is my girlfriend." Because the fucking Twitter post that we saw of fucking Keitel and Savala knitting together just made me think of that. That's from a while back. Put in
Yeah.
the comments below if you remember what TWAB that's from. What episode that's from. Because I know damn well we covered that one. So, but yeah, this is very, very good piece. This was for Valentine's Day. Along with that, Navish Plum, just a father and his boys doing hive stuff. And it's the Hive Squad. Just
Oryx, Crota, and Nokris.
damn, it'd be a shame if we fucking murdered them.
Yeah, all those three. Yeah, they're dead. They're all dead.
When did we kill
all three
Nokris?
of them. Nokris was a strike boss in on Mars.
Oh, he didn't even get a raid? He got he was so shitty. He was a fucking strike boss?
Nokris was the exiled son of Oryx because Nokris is a necromancer.
Wouldn't that make him the most hive of the hive?
Necromancy is like very frowned upon in Hive lore because of
Don't
the
they
sword logic.
resurrect people?
Yep,
That's so
but
fucking...
not. It's weird. It's hard to explain. Like necromancy is frowned upon, but at the same time, it's like they get brought back somehow, but they have to die to become stronger.
That seems like
It's
some
weird.
That seems like some hypocrisy to me, if you ask me. Fucking Oryx being an asshole
mean,
dad.
We found out at the end of the Witch Queen campaign. Spoilers if you haven't played it, but it's been out for long enough. If you haven't played it, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's been a year.
Like, we found out that basically the entire backstory of the Hive is based on a lie told through the worms by the Witness.
That's the whole reason we're fighting them now.
Yeah.
Oh, so the fact that Savathusi is a fucking guardian.
That was a twist.
I don't think either one of us saw that coming. Like, that bitch has a, like, okay, we get that, we get that the Hive Guardians have a fucking ghost. But what the fuck?
And here's the part with that really like makes it like what the fuck is that we have Savathun's body, but her ghost got away, so she's not dead.
Yeah, that's the terrifying part. So, ah, I'm wondering if they're gonna make like a big all-out war, and then they're gonna go for the mid, like while everybody's fighting the war, like they're just gonna secretly resurrect Savathun, and then she's just gonna wreck the tower again.
It's like I have no idea what they plan on doing with that because who knows where we have Savathun's body locked up.
Yeah,
But as long as her ghost can't get to her, she's just gonna be there.
yeah. And then Nap Time Protocol and by Alexander Art. Oh, I should scroll up here. There we go. Alexander Art. Uh, and it is the goodest boy. Is there still time for me to unlock him?
There is definitely still time to, but
How do you unlock him again?
so you take your Vision Zero, you go to a bunch of different locations, and you shoot a bunch of big like orange balls.
All right, you're gonna have to run me through that because I want to go do
There's
that.
50.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's like several on different locations. Like
Do I have
think
to
there's
do
the
them in an
moon.
order or no?
No, you can do them in like any order as long as you keep track of them. Some of them are in the heist battlegrounds,
Oh right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
and some of them are in Operation Seraph Shield.
Yeah. So, yeah, Danny, I'm gonna watch a video on how to properly farm them, and we're gonna do that one day because I want the goodest boy. Um. Besides, I still need to finish the fucking season anyways. So, and then with that being said, we are 10 days away now from Lightfall.
The final week is soon.
Yep, this is the last week before Lightfall. So we will get one more TWAB before Lightfall drops.
Yep.
So overall, not a super big TWAB, and thankfully they got to kind of like just Thankfully they did put a giant TLDR on everything that's going to be coming without releasing too much info. And by the way, fun fact, Danny, we both lost on what we were predicting this TWAB was going to be.
Yeah.
We both lost.
It's like,
So you want to double down?
like this one?
No,
this one was.
yeah. On the next TWAB, what do you think is going to be on the next TWAB?
I don't know if they're even really gonna talk about anything other than like Lightfall approaches.
Pretty much.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Because I think they want to really surprise everyone with the stuff that they're bringing in.
That's fair, because they gave us a lot more information about Stasis. They gave us a fuck ton of information about Stasis, and we have some information about Strand, but we don't have a lot. We've only gotten videos, basically. We haven't gotten like descriptions.
I've been paying very close attention to the videos they've shown off about Strand because I really want to break down that subclass and see exactly what all you can do with it. Because it seems really strong in PvE.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Danny. I'm just looking forward to Spider-Manning everywhere.
Oh yeah, they did show all the supers. Hunters has a lot of reach. Warlocks might have the most total damage.
Which is gonna be a first.
Just because of what they showed off.
Yeah, I mean, Warlocks is a lot of area of denial is what it is.
The missiles hit the ground, and they detonate initially, but they leave little, like, timed detonators that release threadlings, which do more damage afterwards.
Yeah, again, it's a lot of area of denial. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that plays out. Any last words about this TWAB, Danny?
I appreciate that it was TLDR.
Amen. We actually got a sub 1 hour video other than the closing statements. So let's go!
Yeah.
Uh, with that being said, Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitch under the same name.
You can also find me at Twitter at DominiFox1 or YouTube and Twitch at DominiFox. Yeah, very excited to see what's going on. We're going to get one more TWAB, hopefully get one more TWAB before Lightfall drops, and then we will see everything. With that being said, thank you to everyone so much for stopping by. We both really appreciate it. And again, we will be covering all of the TWABs when Lightfall drops. So please, please, please make sure you stay tuned because we are going to be covering all that shit going on. Message your homies, text your ladies, let them know that the videos will be coming out. With that being said, thank you all so much. We both hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll see you guys next time.